day 2 of the reading rush, and I did not meet my goals. But more on that later. Let's play Two Truths and a Little Big Lie. So, mine, like in the challenge video, are going to be book themed, and I will tell you the answers at the end of this video. Let us start with number 1. I have read this entire book cover to cover, the complete novels of Jane Austen. Number 2, I first read Watership Down when I was 10. And number 3, the oldest book I have in my library is What to Do First in Emergencies, printed in 1883. Pro tip, don't do anything that is listed in this book. So I'll let you stew on which one of those you think happens to be the truth or the false. If you'd like, you can leave a comment before seeing the answer, and I'll let you know if you're right. So, yesterday, day 1 of the reading rush, and I was so excited to read all my books that I started 4. Okay, to be fair, I also started all of those 4 in different places. See, I started with my reading rush goals by thinking, hey, I can totally read a poetry volume in a day. Those things are super slim. I mean, look at them. The one I'm reading is downstairs. But I can totally do that in a day. They're 150 pages max, and that's not all filled with words like in prose. So I chose 7 different poetry volumes with the aim of finishing 7 different poetry volumes this week, and I did not finish yesterday's. I got about halfway through. So I was behind already on that. Then I went out to an ultrasound with my sister. She's gonna have a girl. I'm so excited. And while I was there, I started reading my purple cover book, which is Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente. So far, it sounds so cool, so amazing. I can't wait to finish reading this, and I will finish reading it during the week, mark my words. I came home, and Edgar had been to the vet. As you can see, he is sadly not with us. He is a little bit under the weather, and I have medication for him now, but that was pretty stressful, and he did not want to do anything when he got home. So we laid in bed together, and I read him more poetry, because I figured, hey, I'm laying here, I might as well participate in the reading rush. And then I started my 3rd book of the day, which was The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. It could be the narrator. I was listening to this in audiobook. It could be the story itself. I fell asleep. But it's a short book. It is my movie adaptation choice, and I am going to finish it. I've been wanting to read it for a while. I have a paperback copy that I've decided, hey, it's right here. I have a paperback copy that I've decided not to read because of my wrists. They were taxed enough by the poetry volume yesterday. And, yeah, so that's about halfway through. So far, I have 2 books that are halfway through and 1 book that's barely started. Then in the evening, because I like to read in the evenings, and because I had the opportunity to read in the evenings, I started my day 1 choice, which was The Chai Factor by Farrah Heron. It's hilarious, and basically everything I wanted in a rom-com. I am so excited to finish it. I got more than halfway through, but it was midnight, and I was like, no, I'm going to bed. So I probably will finish that choice today, and I'm very excited about it, and then I'll move on to finishing my other 2 that I had started. Overall, I'm super happy with this experience. It's really fun to be giving myself an excuse to read. I know I read all the time, but it's really fun to be doing it alongside other people and participating in the Twitter sprints and trying very hard to go on the forums. There's some website issues, but it's still very fun. So, have you guessed which of these is a truth and which of these is a lie? start with this one. What to do first in emergencies. And turning to the copyright page, you will see that entered according to an Act of Congress in the year 1883. I'm very proud of this. This was a yard sale find. I got it for $1. I used to collect a lot more old books that I had never heard of, but my library got a bit unruly, so I did part with some of those. Some of them I also kept. If you will turn your attention to these lovely volumes that I can never touch because they are falling apart, they used to be my oldest at 1897. They are a history of France, which was a limited edition sort of subscription-based circulatory history volume set. Only 1,000 copies were ever made, and these are in deplorable condition. But I can't part with them at all because they're so old and beautiful. So old and beautiful. So that was true. Watership Down. I read this in grade 5. I plucked it off of my grade 5 teacher's in-class bookshelf, and because it was the thickest book that was there, and I was a voracious reader even then, and I read it cover to cover, and I did not get the allegory. It was just a story about bunnies to me. I remember liking it. I don't remember much about the book now, though. And so, as you can see, those both were true, so this one was the lie. A little bit embarrassing for a Regency romance writer, I know. But I have not read this cover to cover, and I probably never will read it cover to cover. I read Sense and Sensibility. It is pretty good. I liked it, except for the ending, because they were... I'm sorry, I grew up on romance novels. He should have ended up with Eleanor and not Marianne, that's all I'm saying. They were the ones who were talking. It would have subverted his expectations. It was just, I was not satisfied with that ending at all. Pride and Prejudice I've read multiple times. Once I read it, turned back to the first page and read it again. It is to date the only book that I've been able to do that with, since I'm typically bored if I try with other books. My favorite is Emma. I love Emma. I love Emma so much that I named my Dungeons and Dragons character after her, that I named the pug in the Lady Catherine Regency Mysteries after her. I really enjoy Emma, let's just say. And then I tried Mansfield Park. And then I stopped trying Mansfield Park because it was so inane and boring. I know it's supposed to be a parody or an allegory or something like that, but no. I plan on doing Northanger Abbey at some point, and Persuasion is next on my list. I'm going to read it later on this year. So someday I will have read this mostly cover to cover, but it is not now. So I hope you enjoyed getting to learn those things about me. I am super excited to continue on the reading rush, and if you're taking part, let me know what you are currently reading, because inquiring minds might want to read it too. Happy reading, everyone.